Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a GW Tiger. It's a Tier 9 German SPG. It's located on the north spawn of Tundra, and this one is under the command of talon1958 of OLIMP. And yes, I'm back in action, although I am in recovery at the moment, so I won't be doing a huge number of videos, just enough to keep everyone happy. Well, as many of you know, I've been out of action for the past week or so, and I noticed how many people were actually worried, you know, what was wrong, or I did put a message up saying that my doctor told me to actually de-stress or try and reduce the amount of stress that I was under, mainly down to the fact that I had a very, very high blood pressure, which was so big, so bad, that it was almost at the point of that I could actually induce a heart attack or even a stroke. It was 200 over 120, which is way too high. That's the sort of level you get after running 100 meters, not sitting in your chair at home. And it was actually painful to actually take my blood pressure because the cuff that they use that you put in your arm had to squeeze so hard it almost took my arm off in the process. So yes, it was having so much difficulty trying to take a pressure, because of course the cuff has to squeeze the arm until the pulse actually stops. But my blood pressure was so high, the pulse wasn't stopping, and so it just kept squeezing and squeezing until it actually almost took my arm off. So I've got to reduce I'm under medicine now and reducing my blood pressure. So that's the good news. Getting back to the battle, because Talon's already got one hit of 289 on a guard, and now he's just hit an object 257. He's using the 21cm, the big gun. Now it does have a long reload time by the book, 40.27 seconds. He's got it down to 32.99, but he's got bounty equipment loaded with the bounty buffed up or paid off. That's the actual term, is with the premium bounty working. And so he's actually got the best sort of GW Tiger that he can get. But he's hunting around for targets at the moment. Oh, he's found one now. This T-32 is in a lot of trouble if he stays there, because he's going to take a 21cm round. Now, they'll do 900 alpha, 53mm pin. As I said, the reload, normally 40.27 seconds. He's got 32.99. Now, it's based off the Tiger 2. As you know, they only built the Tiger 2 between... well, it was designed at the same time as the Tiger 1, but it actually didn't start mass producing until much later on during the war. They were manufacturing them at the end of 1943, but the factory that was manufacturing them kept getting blown up. I wonder why. Because they were using slave labor. Yes, and slave labor was reporting the... Oh, he just got a one shot on that SU-114 too. Yeah, the slave labor that was actually manufacturing them round the clock passed the information on to spies, who then passed it on to the RAF so they knew which targets to hit. And even though they were hitting the factories, the slave labour was actually taken down into the bomb shelters whilst the air raids were coming in. So they knew that there was a good chance that they would survive the actual raid. But there was no guarantee, but they'd rather the Germans didn't actually get that many of the Tiger IIs. And in fact, only 492 GWs, Tiger IIs were actually built, but 657 were actually destroyed on the factory floor. Well, he's got a kill now. He just took out the T103. 2 kills. Of course, I missed, I say kill now. He actually did get the school bus, the SU-14-2. So, yes, they did have, they lost more Tiger IIs on the factory floor than they did in battle. And something else actually reminded me today, because I was watching a documentary on Second World War tanks, and it reminded me that during the latter stages of the war, the Germans weren't able to manufacture tanks with really good metal. They'd lost all the tanks that they built at the start of the war, and of course the quality of the metal they used back then was very, very good, because of course they had all the rare earths that they could use to make the metal strong. But towards the end of the war, what actually happened is that, oh, and there's the 212A trying to get up onto the hump. He's gone the wrong side. Rounds out. This should hit. It does, and it's another kill. 3 kills now. So yes, they weren't able to manufacture really good metal for the tanks built during the latter stages of the war. And what that meant was that German tanks were actually failing when they were getting hit by some tank rounds, when they should have actually stood up to that round and survived it. So that's one of the reasons why tanks like the Firefly and the Sherman M476 were actually able to take down German tanks that they might not have taken down at the start of the war. Of course, some of those German tanks didn't exist at the start of the war, but of course, the fact is that had the Germans actually had the proper metal that they actually designed these tanks with, then they would have survived. But nope, they couldn't get good metal anymore, and so their metal on the tanks was brittle. And if it got struck by a shell, the shell would normally go straight through and kill the crew. It's just something very interesting. Okay, well, the last enemy is this Waffenträger Panzer IV. Rounds out. Oh, well, it stunned him. And it looks... Has he got rid of his stun? Yes, I think he did. It's showing a little shaded just underneath the symbol, but... Oh, it is showing stun now, but that was, I think, from our teammate in the GW Tiger P. And now he's gone and the battle is over, and it's a victory. Here's the end of battle results, and that was the second-class tanker for talon1958 of OLIMP in the GW Tiger. He managed to get a counter-battery fire medal because he took out both enemy SPGs, he took out the school bus, and then he got the 212A afterwards. And he also managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 11. And his win rate in the game, 1,479, which is very good. Well, it's good, at least, put it that way. This was actually the first result that Talon sent in on the week just before the end of March. And unfortunately, that week, Angelina had to actually go to see her parents or to see family because they were not well. And so she wasn't able to participate. But Talon still sent the replay in just so we could actually see he was keeping up and getting some practice in. And that was a good result in my view. Even though the win rate was very low, it shows that he was actually doing more stun assist than he actually got real damage. Let's have a look at the team scores. Well, the actual damage, the highest score in the game was the Wizzy1201 FT, and he got 3,316 hit points. 3,010 went to the Object 274A, and he picked up an Oskins medal, and 2,806 went to the TT130M, which is a new tank, actually. I think that was one of the new tanks come out that I haven't heard of before. That's a bit odd. But anyway, you can see here that Talon managed to get 1,427, which is well below what he normally gets. But I have the feeling here that the enemy wasn't being very cooperative in placing themselves where he could get nice hits on them. But he did get to 3 kills anyway. And in fact, that puts him in second place in the number of kills, with the 274A getting 4 kills, Talon getting 3, and 2 kills by a number of his teammates. When it came to base XP, we can see that 274A got 1,301, the Wizzy120 managed 1,101. They were the only two managed over 1,000, with Talon getting 746, so he's down in 5th place on that one. He fired only 9 rounds, so not a lot of rounds, which might account for his low damage. He did get 3 direct hits and 1 penetrating shot. That was obviously one of the Arty. I would think it's more than likely the SU-14 too, because that shell did appear to go straight through the guy. And that is correct. Yes, it was that one. And if we go to the rest of the details, he damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 3, got 946 hit points of stun assists off 6 stuns. Now, he did earn profit, 56,759 credits off a tier 9 game, and 2,238 experience points out of it as well. So not a bad little battle, and nice to get the counter battery. Whenever you get a counter battery, you know that you've taken out the enemy RT, and of course that's given your teammates a free run for that game, because of course now they know that they're not going to get any RT thrown in their direction. Anyway, that was a good game. He did send me in another replay, so let's run that one and see how he gets on in that game. The second game is in the M40, M43. We're on the south spawn of Pearl River, and he's got bounty equipment again. He must have accumulated a lot of bounty equipment on his vehicles. Have to tell me how he gets hold of some. I don't have that much in the way of bounty equipment. I spend most of my time making videos, not actually playing the game, but there you go, that's what happens. 1 mark of excellence on the barrel already, and that is definitely the 8-inch howitzer, which makes this the M43, built on the M4 hull, and he's ready to go. Well, the enemy's already spotted, and he's dialing in, and as you know, Talon is very, very good at getting very nice aimed shots. He waits for the right moment, he dials it in fully, and then just as the enemy comes into place, rounds out. Well, yeah, that definitely hurt him. 391 from that one. And he's already changing positions. Now, of course, the N4 was one of a number of hulls that the Americans actually put Arty on. Of course, the other one was the Chaffee, which ended up getting the M24, which ended up getting a 155mm howitzer, and they were later on used in Korea. Okay, over on the heavy area, we've got a T34 actually. That's the premium version. And he managed to get around in there, and 398 and 624 stun. Not bad at all. In fact, I seem to remember Francia once said that he actually likes the T34, mainly because it's got that 120mm gun, but also the fact it is a premium, so it gets extra credits and extra XP. And it is one of a series of T-tanks, or T-30 type tanks that the Americans had. Oh, that was just a fraction of a second too late. We've only got a TVPT 5051 out on the far west. I think we've got way too many guys in the village, but they're shooting at the guys on the far west, which means they might have a chance of stopping those guys moving south. Again, he's dialing in. Standard reload 44.1. He's got 35.13 rounds out. Oh, that's direct hit. No doubt about that one. He got a hit there. Now, we've also done well on the east side of the map, which means that he could move up on the east side to give him a better angle. And in fact, actually, he's moved into the pocket there behind the trees, which will give him a better an advantage just in case the enemy blows through that TVP. Tier 10 game with tier 8 tanks. Of course, you probably know the Americans sent in one M43 and one M40 to the European theatre, and they were actually used by the 991st Field Artillery Battalion to check out which one was the better and just test them in action. Of course, the mainstay up until then was the Arty that they actually already had, which included the M7 and various other vehicles. Of course, the M7 was made off the M4 hull. You'll probably see loads and loads of pictures of M7s being used. Rounds out in the hurry. Could be another nice hit. Yes, it is. And 388. It makes him a one shot, and he's gone. They also had a number of the M12s, but and of course there's only one M12, Adolf's Assassin, that's the name on the side of the vehicle, that's still actually alive. And oh, that TVP, he's running for his life really, because he's actually surrounded and he's actually coming this way. I'm looking at that now thinking, he's coming this way. Talon, get ready. No, you're looking in the wrong place. Yep, you've been spotted. I was thinking to myself, yeah, he's going to see you. Get ready, shotgun. Well, he's not coming our way, actually, because he's surrounded. And I think he's now realised that he's in grave danger. And in fact, actually, he's been wiped out, which means that Talon can pop around the corner. There is only one Arty on the enemy team, an SU-14 too, and I think he's busily supporting his own teammates at the moment. Probably running to try and get behind him as quickly as possible so he doesn't get taken out. Okay, BZ-176. Rounds out. Nice direct hit, 380. He's racking up the damage. Huge amount of damage so far. And I like this again. He's constantly changing, trying to get a better angle. And he's safe over here. He doesn't have to run because I don't think any of those tanks are going to get close to him. Did he actually? He did hit the turret. He actually hit the turret on this one. Ramps out. And now he's hit the tracks. And he's got some damage assist. Is this a good game? Talon's also doing something which I do like, and I do recommend to everyone who is playing Arty to pass information on to teammates, is as soon as you're actually fired, press your button to press your C button to say that you are, oh, and that's the last one, game's over. Yes, press your C button to tell your teammates you are reloading and how long it's going to be until you'll be ready again. Here's the end of battle results, and that was a first-class tanker for talon1958 of OLIMP in the M40, M43, so just missed out on an ace tanker. He also managed to get a bruise medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 6, And his win rate from this one, 2,763, which is Unicum standard. So he was getting close to Super Unicum standard, which is what he was doing all the time. And of course, he says, of course, yes, the moment Angelina's away and he can't benefit from such a good game. Anyway, if we look at the team scores, we can see he actually didn't get the highest damage in the game. That TVP that was coming for him, well, or rather saw him, got 3,661. So it's a good job he wasn't able to get across the field because he might have been a bit of a problem. But the second highest damage was the TVP on our team, who got 3,001. And we can see that Talon got 2,300 hit points, which actually puts him in 4th place overall on damage because, yes, there was only one player on the enemy team managed to get more than he did. And when it came to base XP, to the kills rather, I should say, it was actually a share between the Shrek, the T95 and the TVP T5051. You notice I don't call the Shrek the other word that everyone else seems to call it, but that's because there are children listening. We don't need to pass that information on to them because then they'll go around saying it all the time. And of course, that's why we try to keep it clean. 2 kills went to the TVP T5051 on our team, and Talon got 1 kill out of the team, but that's better than on the enemy team because only 4 players actually managed to get kills at all on their team. And when it came to base XP, he's actually in 3rd place because the Shrek managed to get 994, the M3Y managed 947, and of course Talon got 903. He fired 8 rounds on this one, so even less rounds, but he still managed to get a good result. 6 direct hits on the enemy, no penetrations on this one, but he did get 8 splash, 2,300 hit points of damage, and 5 enemy vehicles damaged, 1 killed, 1,509 hit points of stun assist off 7 stuns. He managed to pick up a profit of 75,165 credits from this game, and he also got 2,709 experience points, and the game wasn't particularly long either, 6 minutes from 49 seconds, so a very quick game in many ways. So yes, he's back in the zone, you could say again. Now we'll just have to wait and see if Angelina is gonna come and beat him straight away with an ace tanker, which I would not be surprised. But you never know. Hopefully, his time in the zone will actually linger, and he'll be able to get another game like this. If you enjoyed this replay or this video, please give it a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.